So this week we've been taking a look at teams that are projecting to do big things in 2021, as well as teams that are projected to make a conference championship push. And we started this off with the team that maybe is having the best offseason of any team in college football, and that's the Oklahoma Sooners and the Big 12, in which case I think there are three teams that could vie for it. Oklahoma, Iowa State, and Texas. Next, we turned our attention to the SEC and the reigning defending national champions, who despite losing a ton of coaches, despite losing a ton of talent, retain the one thing that all matters. Nick Saban, and I have news for everybody. For every 5-star they lost, they have another 5-star coming in to retake their place. So, in the SEC, I had Alabama and Georgia with the best chances of making the SEC championship. And now I want to turn my attention to a team that might be having the second best offseason in all of football, and a conference that I think is going to be really, really interesting next year, because to me it was a big letdown this year. And that is the Pac-12 and USC, the team that might be having the second best offseason in all of football. But before we go any further, I want to hear from you guys. Do you think USC is poised to make a Pac-12 conference championship run in 2021? Give me a Y for yes and an N for no. And second off, which teams do you think are best suited in the Pac-12 to make a serious run? I can't wait to hear from y'all. And guys, since we're on this topic, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification, that way anytime I'm uploading, you know, because I do constant sporting content. Guys, like the video if you enjoyed it, and like I said, drop a comment down below. But with all that being said, let's get straight into it, because I think that the Pac-12 is going to be incredibly intriguing. And I want to start with the North, because the North hosts teams such as Washington, Oregon, Stanford, Oregon State, Cal, and Washington State. Now, I kind of feel the same about the bottom tier of the Pac that I do at the Big 12, and even the SEC for that matter. There is a disparity between the top talent in the Pac-12 and the bottom talent in the Pac-12, although I don't know to the degree that there is a disparity as there is in a Big 12 or even an SEC, right? Oregon State was the number 3 team from the bottom in the North, and even they were able to give a lot of teams trouble because they're a crafty team. And the Pac has some crafty teams. They might not be the best teams at the end of the year, but they do have some crafty gameplay to them, which makes the Pac a lot of fun to watch. But in the North, I think it's going to be incredibly interesting, because conventional wisdom would tell you, if you watched the Pac this year, that 3 teams out the North have a pretty good chance at making something serious happen. First off, Washington. Second off, Oregon. And then third, Stanford. Now, I'm going to go ahead and eliminate Stanford from the list because they are losing out on their starting quarterback, and that's going to be a really big deal, especially in a year where Washington returns their true freshman quarterback who lit it up last year. And oh yeah, by the way, he's only going to be getting better by the day, because he is going to have to win the job from incoming legacy and former 5-star quarterback Sam Hurd. And guys, Sam Hurd is a baller. I mean, he was a 5-star quarterback in 2020 and earned every single one of those stars. But on the flip side, we have Oregon. Oregon has some of the most exciting defensive players in all of college football. Noah Sewell, Justin Flo, and Kayvon Thibodeau all instantly coming to mind. And just along the front 7, don't forget that Pro Football Focus is very high on that Oregon secondary. And though Oregon probably had a disappointing season this year, because they lost 2 games I really didn't think they should have, they were able to finish strong by making that Pac-12 conference championship appearance and beating USC for the title. And, you know, I think that if it is to come down between Washington and Oregon, the one advantage Washington has is continuity at quarterback at a higher level. Sure, Oregon returns their starting quarterback as well, but his level of play wasn't on the same level as Washington's quarterback, at least towards the back end of the stretch. I think the good news for Oregon fans is the same benefit I just gave Washington fans and Washington Huskies program about having a baller quarterback coming in to only push your starter and make him better. That's the same thing you'll be experiencing this offseason with Ty Thompson coming in, because Ty Thompson I think could have been a 5-star any other year. He was rated as a 4-star just outside the 5-star range. And Oregon comes in with a top 10 recruiting class in the nation to just reinforce any talent they've lost. So, just because of the defense for Oregon, and I think they're going to be much improved. Justin Flo in year 2, I can't wait to see what he does. And I think they have two of the most intriguing defensive players in the nation, Noah Sewell and Kayvon Thibodeau. Because of that, I'm going to give the edge to Oregon because I think that the loss of the DC for Washington is going to be a big deal. Sure, Oregon has a DC that left as well. I think the difference is that they have so much talent on that defense that they're going to be able to scheme something pretty easily. And Washington is a talented team too, but I just like Oregon's chances because I think that Ty Thompson will either push show or get him out the way, and Ty Thompson could be taking the reins of this Oregon offense. But now we have to turn our attention to the South. And the South, to me, is much more clear-cut. I said at the beginning of this video that we were going to be talking about a team that might be having the second best offseason in all of college football, and I think that that's the USC Trojans. USC has gotten a plethora of transfers incoming into their program, and they have gotten some big-time commits. I mean, we're talking Corey Foreman, a guy that is the #1 player according to 24/7 Sports Composite, and he has earned that ranking because he is an absolute beast. I mean, he's going to come in day one and probably earn a spot on that starting line and just absolutely start tearing it up from the jump. But what's more is they return a quarterback in Slovis who is very impressive this year. Aside from that, they have more quarterbacks coming in that just look to add to the depth. USC returns the #1 receiver in the Pac-12, and they do that in a year in which they're putting together, like Oregon, a top-tier recruiting class, returning a quarterback who was very impressive. And it seems to me that Oregon and USC are on this collision course just like they were last season. And if that's the case, I really can't wait, because I want to see an Oregon at full strength hit a USC at full strength. Now, the one thing Oregon is going to have to watch out for is not being able to lose too many games because they look to go to Ohio State. And as good as I think Oregon is going to be, I don't think they're going to be able to beat Ohio State. So my early prediction for the Pac-12 is that we will see a repeat of last year's Pac-12 championship, Oregon-USC. Guys, with all that being said, comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Pac-12 moving into next year, and let me know what you think about USC. I think that they have had a killer offseason, but I gotta hear from y'all. That's it. See ya.